Navigating the Randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And as you may have noticed if you're watching, we are in a different location.
We are.
So we are at my house today, and we probably will be for a few more episodes. We might be back and forth, but yeah, we're recording here today. And today we are going over New Moon. We're going to be doing the next 2 chapters.
Which are 13 and 14.
13 and 14, yes. You might be seeing my cat come in and out. You might hear him. Apologies. He has a lot of opinions.
Oh, before we get too deep into anything, if you want to hear more about our opinions, which you should follow us at all 4 of our social medias, which are TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. The handle for all 4 is at Chaos Chronicles Podcast, and that's Chronicles with an S.
Yes.
We, as you already know, are posting our Who Knows What Wednesday episodes. You can find them on all of the social media, and you get some very fun behind the scenes on our Instagram.
Yes.
But today you're joining us for the book portion of this channel, which means you probably aren't interested in the true crime, gory sadness of Who Knows What Wednesday, but we are in... Wait, when this is coming out, will it be the spooky season?
We are in the spooky season currently.
Oh, good. Well, you should check out our Who Knows What Wednesdays, because Jess has put together some awesome episodes on some of the fun, spooky little things that we know. And I don't know all of them, but I know that she's put them together and she's worked hard. So you should check them out.
Yes. So our first spooky season episode was the Salem witch trials. So definitely go check that out if you would like. But otherwise, we got a good lineup coming up. So pretty excited about it, actually.
I'm very excited. And now we will talk about the spooky, scary werewolves of New Moon. I'm sorry if y'all haven't picked up already. We do not have a ton of love for New Moon. In my opinion, it could have been so good, but it's not my favorite book out of the series.
It had such amazing potential. And that's the part I think that just makes me mad now, because I am done reading this book. I have finished it all the way. I have notes on all of the chapters, and I have opinions that won't happen until the last episode. So make sure you're sticking around, and make sure that you're subscribed, because I found out only about 10% of you guys watching on YouTube are subscribed. So subscribe.
Y'all, come on. We're your friends now. Subscribe. Get notifications when we post. We're not like your weird aunt or uncle. Like, you actually want to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I think we have interesting stuff to say.
Most of the time. Sometimes it's out of left field. Most of the extreme left field gets cut, though, because it needs to be cut.
It does need to be cut. Sometimes we just go way off and tangent like we're doing right now.
Yeah, well, Chaos Chronicles, man.
All right. Well, are you ready to get into chapter 13?
Let's get it. Let's
All
get
right.
this bread.
So chapter 13 is titled Killer. Bella was on her way to La Push. She didn't know if she was doing the right thing or not, but she made a compromise with herself. She couldn't condone what Jacob and the pack were doing. She now understands what Jacob told her last night, how she may not want to see him again. Bella could have called him, but she felt that he deserved a face-to-face conversation with her. She couldn't overlook what was happening. She couldn't be friends with a killer. This is just so frustrating. This whole thing is so frustrating. Bella is
annoying.
Please put 2 and 2 together. It takes her way too long.
For a girl that's really smart, she's being pretty dumb right now.
I think that's a theme. And I'm going to say that's a theme for the entire series, even though I've only read 2.
You're not wrong. Pretty much the main 3 characters, Jacob, Edward, and Bella, they're smart, but they're dumb. I spoiled the series for you. My bad.
Darn it.
Darn it.
All right. So Bella also decided that she couldn't not warn Jacob about Charlie and them hunting them, essentially. so she had to do what she could to protect Jacob. She pulled up to the Black's house and knocked on the door. After a few minutes, she heard Billy call for her to come in. When she opened the door, his eyes widened briefly. He tells her good morning and asks what she's doing up this early. Bella tells him that she needs to talk to Jake and then asks if she knows what Charlie is up to this morning. Billy lies and says that he's not sure and asks if he should know about what Charlie is up to. Bella tells him that he and half of the men in town are out hunting the giant wolves, and she needs to talk to Jacob about that if he doesn't mind. Billy finally tells her that he is probably still asleep. He has been out late a lot now, but he needs to rest, so she probably shouldn't go and wake him up. Bella ignored him and just muttered, "It's my turn." Billy sighs and Bella goes to his room. She didn't knock, she just threw the door open and slammed it against the wall. Jacob was still sleeping. The loud bang didn't do anything. He just slept through the whole thing. So boy is tired.
Boy is tired. Also, that's a teenage thing because my mom did that to me several times and I was out. I miss that. Now I'm such a light sleeper.
I am such a light sleeper. You could sneeze and I'm up in an instant.
I was up this morning because a dog was whimpering outside. Like, it wasn't even Zeus. And, like, it wasn't even that loud, but I just heard enough that it woke me out of a dead sleep because I'm like, is it my baby? Oh, nope.
And then you're awake.
Then I'm awake.
So Bella said that thought that he looked so peaceful, and despite his size, he looks so young now. Pity shook her, and she backed out and closed the door behind her. She tells Billy that she thinks she'll let him rest, and Billy nodded. Bella wanted to ask him about his part in all of this, and Bella could see Billy had many questions for her as well. Neither of them asked each other, though. Eventually, Bella tells Billy that she'll be at the beach, so let Jake know that she's waiting for him when he wakes up. Billy agrees, and she wonders if he will actually tell him. Bella drove to the beach that her and Jake were at a long time ago. Seeing Jacob sleeping took all of her anger from her. She still couldn't turn a blind eye to what was happening. Bella was deep in thought when Jacob's voice called for her. He stood several feet away from her and shifted his weight anxiously. He tells her that Billy said that she came by, and he knew she would figure it out. Bella whispers that she remembered the story. It was quiet for a long while, and Jacob eventually tells her that she could have just called. So why did she come? Bella thought that it would have been better face to face. Jacob snorts and says, "So much better." Bella tries to warn Jacob, but he cuts her off and tells her to not worry. They already know. They can take care of themselves. Quote, "They're not going to catch anything. They're only making it more difficult. They'll start disappearing soon enough too." End quote. Bella is appalled, but Jake says it's just a fact. Bella tells him that he knows those people. Charlie is out there. How can he feel that way? Jacob tells her that there's not much more that they can do. Bella whispers, could he try to not be a werewolf? Jacob throws his hands up, saying, like, he has a choice, and how would that help anything with people disappearing?
Oh, so they're both having completely different conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, hold on, I'm making sure I'm tracking because I'm like, this is confusing.
Jacob is like, how can I not? Like, I'm protecting the people as best I can. What more do you want from me? And Bella's like, you're the one out there hurting all these people.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember this. And I think this is where my dislike of this
book came from.
Well, book, but also the trope of like, you're just miscommunicating with each other and you're not clarifying. It drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Which anyone who knows me, you know, I over clarify things in life because I'm like, I hate that so much. I'm gonna make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bella doesn't understand him, And Jacob is now shaking in anger and tells her that she is such a hypocrite. She is there terrified of him. How is that fair?
They're still not getting this. Okay,
no,
keep
they're
going.
still just completely. Bella asks how being afraid of monsters makes her a hypocrite. Right? It's like, Bella, come on.
She's gonna piss me off this entire chapter, isn't she?
I mean, eventually they figure out what each other is talking about.
Okay, I'll hush up
Just
until
not
we get
yet.
to that point.
So Jacob takes 2 steps to her and says, sorry, he can't be the right kind of monster for her. Quote, I guess I'm just not as great as a bloodsucker, am I? End quote. Bella shouts back at him that he's not. It's not what you are, it's what you do. Jacob asks, what's that supposed to mean? At this, Edward's voice popped into Bella's head and warned her to not push him too far, and she needs to calm him down. Bella softened her tone and pleaded with Jacob, was killing people necessary? Isn't there some other way? If the vampires can find a way to survive without killing, couldn't you try to do the same? Jacob was shocked. Killing people? He thought they were talking about her disgust with werewolves. Bella promises that it's nothing to do with the fact that he's a werewolf. The only thing that upsets her is him hurting people. She just can't look the other way while he hurts innocent people. Jacob interrupts her, asking if that's all. He starts smiling and says she is just scared because he's a murderer, nothing else. Bella asks, isn't that reason enough? But Jacob starts laughing. Bella yells at him, quote, Jacob Black, this is so not funny, end quote. Oh, I got a note. Read page 308. I don't know what's coming. This was a while ago that I did these notes.
So, reaction for you too.
It's been a hot minute. Okay. Sure, he agreed, still chortling. He took one long stride and caught me in another vice-tight bear hug. You really honestly don't mind that I morph into a giant dog, he asks, his voice joyful in my ear. No, I gasped. I can't breathe, Jake. He let me go, but took both my hands. I'm not a killer, Bella. I studied his face, and it was clear that this was the truth. Relief pulsed through me. Really? I asked. Really, he promised solemnly. I threw my arms around him. It reminded me of that first day with the motorcycles. He was bigger, though, and I felt even more like a child now. Like that other time, he stroked my hair. Sorry I called you a hypocrite, he apologized. Sorry I called you a murderer. He laughed. That was your book quote. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Bella asks about Sam and the others. Jacob tells them that they are protectors. They're trying to do their job, but they're always just a little too late. Bella asks what they're protecting them from. Is there actually a bear out there too? Yep, Bella. Quote, Bella, honey, we only protect people from one thing, our one enemy. It's the reason we exist, because they do. End quote.
He said Bella, honey.
Mm-hmm.
We say Bella, honey. He means it different when he says Bella, honey.
He does. And he says it actually quite a lot in the book.
Bella, honey?
Bella, honey. He says it quite a few times in the book. I know.
Oh? And Bella...
Yep. Red flag on Bella.
Leading him on. Okay.
A lot.
Anyway.
So Jacob figured Bella, of all people, would understand what's going on. She should.
She should.
Bella whispered, Laurent is still here. Jacob asked, who's Laurent? Bella tried to gather her thoughts and tells him he saw him in the meadow. Jacob was there and stopped him from killing her. Jacob remembered him, and Bella couldn't believe that he went after Laurent. He could have been killed. But Jacob just laughs. One vampire isn't a problem for a pack that is as big as theirs. It was so easy that it wasn't really even fun.
Oh, they did kill Laurent. That's
They
right.
did kill Laurent. So Laurent is gone. Bella asked what was so easy. Jacob tells her, killing the bloodsucker who was about to kill her. Also, he doesn't count toward that whole murder thing. Vampires don't count as people. Bella was stunned. Laurent was dead. Jacob's expression changed. He thought that Bella would be upset that they killed Laurent. Bella assures him that she is relieved that he is gone. She has been so scared waiting for him to come and get her. Jacob puts an arm around her and tells her this is why he exists. He wishes she would have told him that she was scared. She never needed to be.
Jacob, you should have put 2 and 2 together. She knows about vampires. You found her in a meadow, being cornered. You could probably smell the fear on her or hear her heartbeat.
I know. I know. Bella mumbles that he wasn't around, but she thought he knew because last night he said it wasn't safe for him to be in her room, and she thought it was because of the vampires. But that's not what Jacob meant. He was thinking of Bella's safety around him. He wasn't supposed to tell her his secret, not just because that, but because if he gets too mad or upset, she could get hurt. Bella asks about him shaking before, when she was yelling at him. Jacob dropped his face and admits that that was stupid. He has to be better. He was just so upset that he was going to lose her because she couldn't deal with who he was. If he got too mad, he would turn into a wolf. He doesn't need the full moon at all to turn. Jacob tells Bella that she doesn't need to be stressed out. They'll take care of it, and they're also keeping a special eye on Charlie and his crew. But Jacob said, we're going to take care of it. This wasn't over. She gasped, if it's not Laurent, someone else is killing people. Jacob nods and tells her that there were 2 of them. She keeps running away, then coming back again. They decided if they could discover what she was after, it would be easier to track her down. But she doesn't make any sense. She's testing their defenses and looks for a way in, but they can't figure out why. Bella's stomach turned. She moved away from Jacob, started dry heaving, and became dizzy as she realized that she was here and in the woods with Charlie and the others. She slumped over. Jacob asks what's wrong. Victoria, Bella mutters.
Oh, she's smart enough to put that one together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nothing else. Just that.
Just that.
Just
but
that.
I mean, girls should be scared.
She should be. Jacob pulled Bella up and draped her across his lap with her head against his shoulder. Jacob asked if she can hear him and asks who. Bella moans and says she wasn't Laurent's mate. They're old friends. Jacob was frantic. Does she need water? A doctor? What can he do for her? Bella tries to explain that she isn't sick. She's scared, but scared didn't seem to cover her feelings. Jacob confirms with her that Victoria is the red-headed female. He then asks if Laurent told her anything other than James was her mate. This was important. Does she know what Victoria wants? Bella whispers to him, of course, she wants me. Jacob was shocked, but shock quickly turned to anger and he asked why. He holds her tightly as she tells him that Edward killed James. She was pissed off, and Laurent said that she figured it would be fairer to kill Bella than to kill Edward, mate for mate and all. She didn't know or doesn't know that things aren't that way anymore. Quote, not for Edward anyway, end quote. Jacob asks if this is why the Cullens left. Bella shrugs and says she is just a human, she's nothing special. Jacob is all business now and says this is important and exactly what they needed to know. He has to go tell the others right away. Well, they both have to go tell the others right away. Jacob stood her up, holding her at the waist until she was steady. Bella lies and says that she's fine, and Jacob takes her hand instead. He pulls her to her truck and asks where they're going. Jacob admits that he isn't sure, but he's calling a meeting. He steadies Bella against the truck and tells her to wait there, and he'll be right back. Jacob sprinted into the forest, and Bella tried to call after him, but it was useless. This wasn't a good time to be left alone. Victoria was after her.
Yeah, Jacob did not put two and two together there.
No. Once Jacob was out of sight, she began to hyperventilate and drug herself into the cab and locked the truck. It didn't make her feel any better, though. Bella was horrified at the thought of Jacob getting anywhere near Victoria. Laurent was dead, but Edward told her how difficult it was to kill a vampire once and how only another vampire could kill another. But Jake said it was what werewolves were made for. Bella thought that she was about to be sick when there was a tap on the window. Bella yelped in terror. It was Jacob, and Bella unlocked the door with grateful, trembling fingers. Jacob realizes just how scared she is and tell her to not be. They'll take care of her and Charlie. Quote, the idea of you finding Victoria is scarier than the idea of her finding me, I whispered. He laughed. You've got to have a little more confidence in us than that. It's insulting. End quote.
Sorry.
I love Jacob. Apparently for now.
Yes.
I keep having, I don't know what's coming, but apparently something is coming.
I don't remember if it was in that one or it might be in Eclipse. I'm pretty sure the thing that is going to piss you off is in Eclipse.
Is that the next one?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Bella asks where he went. When he didn't respond, Bella assumed it was a secret. Jacob says no, but it's weird. He didn't want to freak her out. When they're wolves, they can hear each other's thoughts, no matter how far away they may be. It's super helpful when they're hunting, but it's a pain otherwise and embarrassing. They have no secrets between each other. Bella then remembers the night prior when Jacob told Bella that there was no secrets between them. And so that was it. They just hear each other's thoughts, which just take 5 seconds here to just think about the random thoughts that go in your head. Now imagine like if I were able to hear your thoughts and vice versa.
I'm so sorry. You would be so annoyed. You'd be like, why the fuck are you thinking about that right now? And I'd be like, I don't know. It's not me actively thinking.
It just popped up in my head. Yeah. So yeah.
No, I remember reading about that the first time. I'm like, wow, that's awkward. And then my second thought was, they're a bunch of teenagers. Ooh, teenagers have secrets. Teenagers have weird thoughts.
A lot of weird thoughts.
A group of them. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So Jacob notices that she is very good with weird. He thought it would bother her. Oh, goodness. Bella tells him that it doesn't seem weird because he isn't the first she's known to be able to do this. Edward could also do something like that, but only Edward. Jacob looks surprised. He's heard some stories about legends of vampires who could do extra stuff, but he thought that was a myth. Nothing is a myth anymore, though. So Jacob just went to talk to Sam. He kept it short and tried to not think about Bella because he wouldn't have let him bring her. Bella tells him that it wouldn't have stopped her, but Jacob says it would have stopped him. The reason why he couldn't finish his sentence last night was because Sam told him that he couldn't tell her, and he's the alpha, and what he says, they just can't ignore him. There are a lot of stuff like that are wolf things, and he couldn't imagine how hard it was for Sam. He was alone dealing with all this stuff. Jacob tells Bella when he changed, it was horrible and terrifying, but he wasn't alone, like when Jacob changed. There were voices in his head telling him what happened and what he had to do. That probably kept him from losing his mind. But for Sam, there was no one there to help him. Bella asks if they'll be angry with Jacob. Probably, he tells her. Bella starts to ask if she should go, but Jacob assures her that she knows a ton of things that can help them. She's not just a human. She's like a spy or someone who's been behind the enemy lines. She told him about the mind reading bloodsuckers. Yeah, those are the things that they need to know about. Jacob said that. That's what. Yeah. Anything bloodsucker, that's 100% Jacob. That's not coming from Bella.
Yes.
I just wrote that a little weird. Jacob continues to say that it sucks that those stories are true and it makes things a lot more complicated. He then asks if she thinks that Victoria has any kind of special ability, but Bella doesn't think so. Otherwise, he would have mentioned it. Jacob asks, "Oh, Edward," and then apologizes. Bella doesn't like hearing his name or saying it. Bella asks how he knows her so well. Can Jacob also read her mind? Jacob says no, he just pays attention.
Side note, which is what a good friend, boyfriend, significant other should do. They should pay attention to those little things.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't, you should start.
Yeah.
So they were apparently driving. Apparently, I missed that part, or it was absent from the book.
It was just kind of implied with him being in the cab.
Yeah,
it wasn't explicitly stated.
Yeah, but so they end up stopping where they started the bike lessons. Jacob mutters that she is still pretty unhappy. Has she ever thought that just maybe she is better off, like, without him? I'm assuming. Bella takes a deep breath and says no. Jacob tries to continue, but Bella cuts him off, saying that she can't stand talking about it. Jacob apologizes, and Bella tells him to not feel bad. If things were different, it would have been nice to be able to talk to someone about it. The pack is now there, and Bella asks if Jacob is sure that she should be there. Jacob says they'll deal with it, and then grins and says, quote, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?"
Okay, I love that because I would totally say that in that situation. 100%.
I read this and I just started chuckling.
Oh, see, Jacob is bringing the dimensionality that we are looking for, that Bella sorely lacks, that Eddie boy lacks.
Yeah. So, quote, "Ha ha," I said, but I got out of the truck, hurrying around the front end to stand close beside Jacob. I remembered only too clearly the giant monsters in the meadow. My hands were trembling like Jacob's had been before, but with fear rather than rage. Jacob took my hand and squeezed it. Here we go. End quote and end of chapter 13.
Are we doing this and 14?
And 14.
Awesome. Yes. We're going to launch right into 14, y'all. Let's go.
All right, so chapter 14 is family. Bella cowered at Jacob's side as she scanned the forest for werewolves. When they appeared, they weren't what Bella expected. She pictured the wolves from the forest, but, quote, "These were just 4 really big half-naked boys," end quote. Yeah. Sorry. That's why I had to include it, because I was like, really, Bella? Really?
And yet, at the same time, if I am somewhere and 4 half-naked men approach me,
no.
I am in imminent apprehension of some bad happening. I'm out of there. Like, nope.
And goodbye. They all looked like brothers, really quadruplets. all looked the same and moved almost in sync with each other. They all became furious with Jacob the moment that they saw Bella. Sam demanded to know what Jacob did. Another pushed past Sam and asked why can't he just follow the rules? What was he thinking? Is she more important than everything? Jacob quietly responded that she can help. The angry boy shouted at Jacob and his arms began to shake as he said, quote, I'm sure the leech lover is just dying to help us out, end quote. Jacob shouted back, telling him to not talk about her like that. Sam commanded Paul to relax, and the other boy told him to get a grip. Paul shifted his gaze at Bella, and Jacob stepped in front of her. Paul was outraged at this, and both Sam and Jacob shouted at him. Paul transformed into a silver wolf, and Jacob began to run straight for him. Jacob then transformed into a russet brown wolf. Both Jacob and Paul met head on. Bella screamed Jacob's name and took a step forward, but Sam ordered her to stay where she was. Sam shouted to the other boy to take her to Emily's, and Sam ran after them. They were heading in the forest. The growling and snapping faded, and then nothing. One of the boys started laughing. He seemed to be laughing at Bella's expression, and he said that there's something you don't see every day. The other boy, so that ended up being Embry. I put 2 and 2 together and came back and said, okay, that's who and Sue. The other boy, who's Jared, says that he does literally every day. Embry disagreed and says, "Aw, Paul only loses his temper maybe 2 out of the 3 days."
Okay, see, this is the part where I'm loving. I'm like, yes, that sounds like a normal teenage thing.
I know. Honestly, I really enjoy these chapters of this book. The ones coming up, I told Connie, I'm like, I shoved them into a ChatGPT to condense my notes because I don't like them so much. Yeah. So the last couple chapters, we're going to mush a lot of those together.
Yeah.
For our sanity. Because we can't.
No, our sanity is already hanging on by a thread with everything else in our lives. We are not letting New Moon be the thing that breaks that thread.
No. So Jared ended up picking up something from the ground. It was what was left of Jacob's shoe. Jacob is going to have to go barefoot now. It was the last pair that Billy could afford. So he must have been going through them like crazy, which makes sense. I mean, you're new to being a werewolf and you lose your temper. And
plus you're a 15-year-old boy who, let's be honest,
he's 16 at this point.
Oh, sorry, he's a 16-year-old boy. I've never known a 16-year-old boy to be
in tune with their emotions.
Completely calm. The only one I can even relatively think of is the one that had a crush on you from church. The one that I went to school with. Yeah. Like literally, I think he might be the only one.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else.
Literally none.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
No judgment. I was an angry teenager myself.
Yeah, no. Same.
Arguably, I'm still kind of an angry adult at times, but that's because I know about the world.
Same.
So
Jared tells Embry to go get Sam's shoes because he took them off before he transformed. Jared then looks at Bella and asks if she's going to faint or puke or something. She doesn't look good. You need to sit down. Bella agrees and puts her head between her knees. Embry complains that Jake should have warned them. Jared says he shouldn't have brought his girlfriend into this. What was he expecting? Bella was astonished. Weren't they worried about them at all? Emery was surprised. Why would they worry about them? Jared says that he hopes Paul gets a mouthful of him and teaches him a lesson. Embry disagreed. Didn't he see Jake? Sam couldn't have phased like that. Jacob saw Paul losing it, and it only took him half a second to transform and attack. Jared and Embry bet on who would win and leave a mark on the other person. Embry looked at Bella and told her that they would go and see Emily. She'll have food, and then asks for her to give them a ride. Bella chokes out, no problem, and Jared suggests Embry should drive. She looks like she might hurl.
Yeah.
Embry agrees and gets Bella in the car and tells Jared that he has to be in the back. Quote, "That's fine. I got a weak stomach. I don't want to be there when she blows."
Sorry.
And then the next person, "I bet she's tougher than that. She runs with vampires." $5, Jared asks. Done. I feel guilty taking your money like this. End quote. Oh. So Embry gets in and starts the truck. He mutters to Bella that she can't throw up because he only has a 10. And if Paul got his teeth on Jacob, Bella whispers, okay. Embry drives and then asks how Jacob got around the injunction. Bella says he didn't. She guessed. Embry pursed his lips and says he supposes that would work. They're going to Sam's fiance's house. Embry drives and then asks how Jacob got around the injunction. Bella says that he didn't. She guessed. Embry pursed his lips and says that he supposes that will work. I just thought, in the first book, didn't Edward tell or imply that Jake was a werewolf?
Yeah, I think he did make a comment.
Like he doesn't know yet or something like that?
I think he made a comment about treaty or something.
Yeah.
And Bella made a comment Jake doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then I think Edward had said something about the youngin or whatever.
Yeah. Bella, you knew this the whole time. Sorry, that just added another layer of frustration.
So much. I mean, she is 17, and granted,
I know, but
in her situation, it might be a little hard to. No, I got water. It might be a little tricky to, put 2 and 2 together, vampire, werewolf. But no, she already knows that vampires are a thing. She's basically had werewolves confirmed.
She literally had Jacob tell her about the werewolves. I mean, Jacob did confirm all that for her. He told her about the werewolves, and then Edward also confirmed it and told her about the treaty. Yes, the treaty is legit. So you already knew that werewolves existed. You had that whole that just adds a whole nother frustration level.
And you've probably heard this phrase before, Bella would struggle to pour water out of a boot with instructions on the heel.
You're not wrong. Oh gosh.
That could be on my tombstone. She wasn't wrong.
You're not wrong. I say it often enough.
I have the certificate from the place that we worked at.
Yes.
Literally my first year. The never wrong, always right award.
Oh gosh. So they are going to go to Sam's fiance's house. The rest of them will meet back there after they're done with their stuff and after Paul and Jake get some new clothes. That is, if Paul has any left. Emily knows about werewolves, and Embry warns her to not stare at her because it bugs Sam. Hanging around werewolves has its risks. Embry then changed the conversation and asked if she was okay about the thing that was a black-haired bloodsucker in the meadow. It didn't look like they were friends, but he wasn't sure. Bella assures him that they weren't friends, and Embry says good. They didn't want to start anything that would break the treaty. Bella recalls the treaty, but asks how killing the runt would break it. Embry snorts as he repeats his name and tells her that they are technically on the Cullens' turf there, and they aren't allowed to attack any of them, or really just the Cullens unless they're the ones to break the treaty first. It looked like she knew him, so they weren't sure if he was a relative or distant relative of them or something. Bella asks how the Cullens would break the treaty. Embry says if they bite a human, but Jake wasn't keen on letting that play out. Bella thanked him, and he responded, "Our pleasure."
Thanks for doing the dishes. Thanks for killing that bastard. Cool. Same vibe. No problem.
Oh. Embry notes that her truck is slow, but they eventually made it. They enter the house and Bella saw Emily. She assumed that Embry told her not to stare at her because she was so beautiful. Emily then turned, and the right side of her face was scarred, and that side of her mouth was in a permanent grimace. Jacob and Paul came through the door laughing. They appeared to be in one piece. Jacob greeted her cheerfully, apologized about before, and asks how she's holding up. Bella assures him that she's okay. She started eating a muffin, and she felt instantly better with Jacob by her side. Jared wailed, "Oh man." There was a fading pink line on Paul's forearm, and Embry was grinning and demands $15. Bella asks if Jacob did that. Jacob tells her that he barely touched him, but he'll be perfect by sundown. It's a wolf thing. He doesn't have a scratch on him at all. Jacob doesn't have anything on him. Suddenly, Sam interrupts them, saying that Jacob has information for them. Paul didn't look surprised. Maybe they all read each other's thoughts? Jacob tells them that he knows what the redhead wants. That is what he was trying to tell them before. She is trying to avenge her mate, but her mate wasn't the one that they killed in the meadow. The Cullens got her mate last year, and she is now after Bella. Bella shivered, and Jared, Embry, and Emily's mouths dropped. Embry can't believe it. She's just a girl. Jacob tells him he didn't say it made sense, but that's why she's been trying to get past them. She's trying to get back to Forks. Jared started to smile. This is perfect. They now have bait. At this, Jacob grabbed a can opener and threw it at Jared's head, but Jared caught it before it hit his face. Jacob tells him that Bella isn't bait. Sam ignores them and says they'll be changing their patterns and will try to leave some holes and see if she falls for it. They'll have to split up, which isn't ideal, but if she's really after Bella, she probably won't take advantage of them in smaller numbers. Embry chimed in that Quill has to be close. When that happens, they will be able to split evenly. Sam says that they can't count on that, so Paul, Jared, and Embry will take the outer perimeter, and him and Jacob will take the inner. They'll collapse when she is trapped. Bella notices that Emily was worried, and Bella was too. Sam looked at Bella and says that Jacob thinks it would be best if she spent as much time as she could in La Push. Victoria wouldn't know where she would be, so it wouldn't be as easy for her. Bella asked about Charlie. Jacob tells her that March Madness is still going on. He can get Billy and Harry to keep Charlie here when he isn't working. Sam interrupts and says to wait. That is what Jacob thinks is best, but she needs to decide for herself. Think about the risks of both options. If Bella chooses to stay here, he can't guarantee her safety. Jacob mumbles that he won't hurt her. Sam just continues and asks if there was somewhere else she felt safe. Bella began to think and finally says she doesn't want to lead Victoria anywhere else. Sam nodded. It was better for her to be here, and they can enter. Bella flinched and asked Jacob if he'd be careful. The boys started laughing, amused. All of them. But Emily wasn't. She had the same look of concern. Emily announces that food was ready. There was a buffet-sized pan of eggs that was devoured in record time. Emily and Bella ate standing up against the counter. I can only imagine,
literally what I was thinking.
Normal teenage boys.
You add it. I actually have an idea of what this looks like
Same.
from when my husband and his gym obsessed two roommates lived together, 19, 20, 21-year-old boys living together in a house, it looked like a cocaine dealer's house. Just because there was creatine and protein powder everywhere. There was
Yep.
no cocaine. But like,
No, we don't do drugs.
no. But it was just chicken and rice and broccoli and ungodly amounts of snacks.
Yeah, I have 3 older brothers, and I'm the youngest, so I saw all that.
Mm-hmm. And I can't judge too much because as a teenager, I was a bottomless pit.
Same.
I miss that metabolism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The joys of getting older.
No kidding.
So Bella spent the day at La Push, mostly at Billy's house, and he left a message for Charlie to come over for dinner. Charlie brought 2 pizzas after work, and Jacob ate one all by himself. Throughout the night, Charlie was eyeing Bella and Jacob suspiciously, especially Jacob. He was a lot different. Charlie noted the haircut, and Jacob just shrugged and said it was more convenient. And then I made a comment, once they're in the pack, is that a part of, like, they cut their hair once they're in the pack?
Oh, did it not tell you in the book?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming because they all had long hair and then they became a part of the pack. Did something stop?
No, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Like for half a second, it looked like it stopped on your camera,
Oh.
but it's good. No, so the length of their hair corresponds to the length of like their fur and wolf form.
Oh my gosh, what?
Apparently, I swear to God, I remember reading that somewhere. And
Did
like,
I
that's
miss
why they had
that?
to cut their hair short. And that's why they kept it short because it was more convenient.
Did I miss that? I swear I
that
didn't
was
miss that.
Maybe it's in Eclipse. You get a little bit more of the wolves in Eclipse.
Someone let me know if I missed that. I take such detailed notes. I highly doubt I missed anything.
It definitely could be in the next one.
But there is a possibility. Let me know.
Or it could be that I'm completely misremembering.
Okay, so Bella knew that once they left Jacob, he would go out again and go back to looking for Victoria. Apparently, the night before, they chased her halfway to Canada. Jacob walked Bella to her truck when she had to leave, and once Charlie got to his car, Jacob tells her to not be afraid tonight. They'll be watching. You'll love this. Charlie was pretending to have issues with his seatbelt. Charlie. Bella promises that she won't worry about herself, and Jacob tells her she's silly. Hunting vampires is fun. Jacob tells her to, quote, get some rest, Bella, honey. You look exhausted, end quote. There's another honey proof for you. I put a few in just to prove, like, he says honey a lot. Which I don't know how I feel about that take.
You know, here's the thing. I use honey with a host of different people. But like, I am always coming from like the sister, the motherly, it's coming from good place. I have never ever used that with someone who I have thought may have misinterpreted my stuff as flirting. And actually, I haven't even used that on my husband.
I haven't either. I call my dog honey a lot.
Oh yeah, animals, kids, old people.
Or yeah, when I worked on the truck, I'd be like, hey, hon, how's it going today? But that's even like hun. That's a more casual version of honey. I would never say, I don't know.
If Jacob said hun, I wouldn't think that was as weird. I think
But
he'd maybe
honey,
be a little flamboyant, but
I don't know. In my head, I just, the Jacob that I've built in my head doesn't say honey.
No, it's very, very out of character from what's being built up.
Yeah.
It's very out of character to a 16-year-old boy.
Yes, that too. I think that might be what makes it the weirdest.
Literally the only 16-year-old boys that I have known to use any like honey or girl or anything. I should stop moving my hand because he's going to think he should attack it.
No, he won't. You're good.
Great. Cat. they've been like flamboyantly gay.
Yes.
Like not a question.
Same.
Gay 100%. And Jacob from the reading here is not.
Yep.
And I think that's just where I'm having that disconnect where I'm like, why is, and it's not like he has a female presence in his life I don't think Billy's calling him honey.
No, probably not.
No. I don't know. Is this something that we should be hung up on? No. Is it something that's a little jarring and it kind of takes you out of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that he could have said there that Stephanie Myers could have used? I could see a 16-year-old saying like babe, but I feel like Bella would have put a stop to that.
Let's be honest, she wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Red flag on Bella.
Red flag on Bella.
Bella says she'll try, and Charlie honks his horn impatiently. Jacob says he'll see her tomorrow. Come down first thing. Charlie followed Bella home, and Bella wondered where the boys were running to and if Jacob had joined them yet. When they got home, Charlie demanded to know what was going on. He thought Jacob was part of a gang and the two of them were fighting.
From Charlie's perspective, this has got to be very confusing.
It's like whiplash.
Oh, yeah.
But also, sidebar. I know we've been doing a lot of sidebars here, but sidebar. When I was a teenager, you're in a fight with someone one week and then the next you're best friends. Like, that's a part of being a teenager.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah, correction. I was never in a fight. People got mad at me and I was just kind of like, well, okay, I'll just like chill until you're back.
I was both.
I don't know. See, I was just always on edge.
Yeah.
Which is its own thing to unpack. But, you know, high school, you're basically on a battleground.
Yeah.
Hi. High school's a battleground. Let's just put it that way. Middle school's a battleground. High school's a battleground.
Yeah.
At least there's some, you know, Geneva Convention for high school. In middle school, it's just guerrilla warfare. Tell me I'm
very
wrong.
Accurate. No, it's accurate. So Bella tells him that they made up. And as for the gang, she doesn't know, but teenage boys are a mystery. She met Sam and his fiance, though, and they were really nice, so it must just all be one big misunderstanding. Charlie's face changed. He didn't know that they made it official.
Oh, Sam and Emily?
Oh, yeah. I was confused by my notes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, working. Oh, I think I got it.
Sam and Emily, yes. He was pleased and says, poor girl. Bella asks if he knows what happened to her. He does. She was in a horrible accident over a year ago. She was mauled by a bear up north during the salmon spawning season. Sam was really messed up over it. That's so sad.
Yeah. Wait, has Bella put 2 and 2 together yet about what happened to Emily?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Bella says it's horrible and then thinks that it must have happened when he was the only werewolf in La Push. There we go. Yes, she does. So you're putting 2 and 2 together now. Bella laid in bed and played the day in reverse and made it back to her and Jacob's conversation on the beach when he called her a hypocrite. Bella didn't think she was. Edward wasn't a killer. Even in his darker times, he never murdered innocent people, at least. Bella.
That was some interesting backbending there to justify all that.
You know, he didn't murder innocent people.
He didn't. He went after some pretty horrible people. Nonetheless, murder is still the act of ending someone's life artificially.
But what if he had been? What if he was just like any other vampire? Would that have kept her from him? Let's be honest. No, it would not have.
No. She didn't know he was a vegetarian.
For a while.
Yeah, for quite a while. I was just thinking also it's kind of weird to say vegetarian there.
But not, yeah.
They are, but there aren't. And for them, they're vegetarians.
For them, yes.
But like, she didn't know that. And she still decided to like him and pursue him.
Exactly.
So, sweetie, you know the answer.
Yeah.
Bella, honey, you know the answer.
Bella, honey.
Bella, honey.
Bella shook her head and reminded herself that love is irrational.
Sista's irrational. That's what she is.
Quote, the more you love someone, the less sense anything made, end quote. Bella rolled over and thought of Jacob and the others running. Quote, I fell asleep imagining the wolves, invisible in the night, guarding me from danger. When I dreamed, I stood in the forest again, but I didn't wander. I was holding Emily's scarred hand as we faced into the shadows and waited anxiously for our werewolves to come home. End quote. End of chapter 15. What the heck, Bella? Our werewolves? Excuse me?
Bella, you do not get to just fish out the line, reel it in, cast it out, reel it in, cast it out, reel it in. You do not get to do that with a human being. Like, no,
You can't even do that to werewolves.
Can't even do that to werewolves. Remember the Geneva Convention in high school warfare that I was talking about? Yeah, that's one of them rules. It's also a life rule of don't be a bitch. I mean, I don't know.
I will say this is on par for teenage girls, though. Let's be honest.
It is.
But still, I feel like she's like...
To the extreme?
To the extreme. She, like Stephanie, she's like really laying into this like thick. I feel like it's in real life, it's not this bad.
No.
Not to this level. I mean, she's like claiming him as hers, but then she's still like, no, you're in the friend zone, but we're still gonna hold hands, we're gonna hug, we're gonna blah 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 blah. I still want you with me, you reassure me, I need you for emotional support.
Get a therapist for that, bish.
Yes. And if you're in that situation, if you find yourself in that situation, get help.
Get professional help.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Don't go online and get some random Instagram person who says like, no, it's because you're a Libra. And no, I'm not shitting on Libras because I am a Libra, okay? And we're flirts. I acknowledge it. Not intentionally all the time. We're just
friendly people.
Very friendly people. And it backfires. But the point being, you don't do this. You don't get to be possessive of someone like that.
No.
Period.
No.
Like, I'm not even possessive like that of my husband.
No. You're still your own person.
I'm still my own person. Even when people have flirted with my husband, he has been flirted with by several men in front of me, and he does not grasp that. He's like, no, they were just friendly. I'm like, they asked if I was your sister and we were shopping for our parents while they were flirting you up and down and undressing you with their eyes.
Oh, Johnny.
Totally doesn't get it.
That's okay, though.
That's okay because it's funny to me because then I will grab Johnny's butt and the person will always be like, I'm like, yeah, I like to grab my brother's butt. So what? I don't know. I have a sick, twisted sense of humor that way. But anyway, even then, I'm not like my Johnny.
Yeah. No. No. You're your own person. You still make your own opinion. Like, you have your own opinions. Decisions can be made jointly or individually, depending on the level.
The levels are important. And Bella's level here, like, there's not even a defined relationship. And I think that's what's driving me nuts about it. Like, it's one thing if you want to be this possessive of someone that you are both in a clear, communicative relationship where, like, that's okay with both of you. Because for some people, that's how they are. That's how they work. And if that works for both of you, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not what this is, and it's driving me nuts, and I don't want young girls to read this and be like, this is totally okay behavior.
This is not okay. This is not okay.
I might be 10 years too late to that concern, but still.
I know.
Oh, shit, more than 10 years. I think this came out in 2010.
I can look at the copyright date.
Yeah.
Or the publishing date, whatever thing is in the inside. 2006, Connie. 2006. It is currently 2024.
Okay, that just called me old.
Uh-huh. Copyright 2006 by Stephanie Meyer.
Damn, she was cooking out books. She went 2005 Twilight, 2006 New Moon, 2007 Eclipse, 2008 Breaking Dawn.
I wonder if she had like all of them like mostly done.
I thought I remember a documentary that she didn't. I thought it was just Twilight.
Impressive.
Very impressive. I know that she was turned down by quite a few publishers, kind of like J.K. Rowling was, but
That's just proof. Don't give up on your dreams.
don't
Keep
give
going.
up on your dreams. Unless your dream is to be a toxic psychopath pulling this type of shit.
Then stop.
Don't do that.
Then stop and get help.
Ask yourself, what would Bella do? If it is what you're doing, do the opposite.
Yeah. Yikes.
There you go. That could be something in our potential merch store one day if we ever get one.
What would Bella do?
Don't do it.
Gosh. All right. Well, any final thoughts on these 2 chapters of New Moon?
Plenty, but I'm aware of the recording time, so no. How about you?
No. Nope. But I am enjoying the last couple good chapters.
Yes.
Because pretty soon it's gonna be like we're like here, and pretty soon it's just gonna plummet.
Yep. I do love, I will say, as you got to see in the Emily and Sam's house thing, I do love that very family feel.
Yes.
Which I know the Cullens have that, but like from a human coming into that perspective, they don't eat. It's just different. And,
it's more
humanly
cold.
running. Yeah, they're cold.
Well,
cold ones.
Literally the cold ones, and the werewolves are overheating.
Yeah. So like difference. So personally between the two, I would feel more comfortable in that more familial family environment.
Same.
But that's also because I'm anxious, and I'm anxious in classrooms. If my stomach growls, I'm like, die, stop, don't. I don't. So the idea of all these vampires being able to hear my stomach growl or me pee, I would not pee at their house. I would never pee at their house.
On that note, make sure that you are following us on all of our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram, all at Chaos Chronicles Podcast, and that's Chronicles with an S. Make sure that you are subscribed because, like I said in the beginning, only about 10% of y'all on YouTube are following us. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post.
That's right. Well, until next time, hopefully we see you for our spooky October spooky season. Who knows what Wednesday, or we'll see you next Saturday.
All right. Bye.
Adios.